Hi Flosstube, I'm Carrie. I'm a cross stitcher and a quilter, and I am back for episode 3. It is Friday, January, what day is it? January 17th. So if you are new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for joining me. This is Whiskey. He's 6. He's our little mini dachshund. Y'all saw Ginger and Coco last time, but he didn't make an appearance. So I woke him up from his nap and made him come in here. So since my last episode, a couple of things have happened. I took Winnie here to the vet for her. She's been dealing with this lip ulcer in her mouth, and it gets really swollen, and it doesn't really bother her. The vet says it's not painful. It's just kind of weird looking, and we had noticed it the first time, like at around Thanksgiving, and the vet at that point had given her like a really strong anti-inflammatory shot. But after Christmas, it didn't really seem like it got much better. So after Christmas, I sent the vet another picture and asked, I don't know if she needs different meds or what we should do. So I took her into the vet last week, and they were able to do a cytology on it, which I think is where they just go in and they scrape the top layer of skin cells off so that they can look at it under a microscope. And they didn't see anything like skin cancer. Everything they saw was indicative of just what they call a rodent ulcer, which apparently is really common in cats. I've never heard of it, and it's apparently got nothing to do with rodents. So, don't think it was anything caused by an insect bite. They say it's caused by an allergy. I've not been able to figure out what allergy she might have. So we took her in last week and came back with liquid steroids to give her. We give it to her every day, and we're just kind of waiting around for that to get better. I don't know if she'll let me show y'all. What, you want to show everyone your mouth? Huh? She's just a big marshmallow. They didn't even have to sedate her to do the cytology. She just let them pry her jaws apart, and I mean, she's just the nicest cat. She's only 5.5, so we were concerned for a little while, like what, they're talking about biopsying this, like that's scary. So, but we think it's looking better. So she's just such a good cat. I don't want anything to happen to her. And if you all have been following on my Instagram stories, I appreciate all the concern and the nice messages asking after her. She's pretty fun. And she puts up with our dogs so well. She's just irreplaceable. So, other than that, my birthday was on the 13th. That was Monday this week. I turned 37. Didn't do much. Jake and I went and got Mexican food, and my mom made me a chocolate cake. And what else? I am back to long arm quilting. So if you've got a quilt with me right now, I'm working on it. Kind of had a build up after Christmas or right before Christmas. So I'm catching up on all my customer quilts. Should be caught up fairly soon here. And it's like she knows. You're just a star. Huh. I got my hair done Wednesday. I have purple hair. I don't know if y'all can like even tell. It's the Winnie show. Let's see. What else can I talk about? I didn't know you were such a ham. Oh, I wanted to share a drink recipe that it's been so cold lately, even in Texas. I think we're supposed to get another front this weekend, and it's going to drop into the low 20s here. But I have been making, it is spiced apple cider. Just make it with boiling water. And then I've been adding caramel syrup. And I use this frother that I got from Amazon to mix the powder up. It's just battery operated. It's got like a AA battery in it. And so I've been making, I don't know if y'all have ever had a caramel apple spice from Starbucks, but this drink is just like the one at Starbucks, and you can make it anytime you want it. So I put syrup, like as much as I feel like I need, and I blend it all up, and then I top it with like aerosol whipped cream, and then I drizzle some more caramel syrup on top, and it's really, really good. So if you're looking for a drink that's not necessarily coffee, this one's pretty good. It's a good comforting drink to have. So Jake and I have been making those like every other afternoon probably, but highly recommend the caramel syrup. That's good stuff. Oh, and I wanted to thank Carol, the Saltbox Stitcher, for mentioning me in her last video. I've had a lot of people come from Carol's channel over to mine to say hi and to see my videos, so I'm very grateful for the new subscribers, and the amount of comments I've had have been so positive and welcoming. So thank you, Carol, and thank you for all of you who came over to join me from her. And I wanted to talk about my friend Emily. She is Shady Grove Stitcher on YouTube and Instagram, and she has a couple of videos up that I really enjoy her production value. I think she's a natural in front of the camera. She's very engaging, and she speaks so clearly, and she stitches from the pink room is what she calls it. And her mission this year is to kind of fill up an antique hutch in the room. Her goal is to fill it up with cross-stitch pieces. So she's been sharing one finish per video, I guess, like one project. She concentrates on one project per video and talks all about it, and any kind of challenges she had, or tips or tricks that she wants to offer. And her latest video, it was so cute. She did a finish with a paper mache book box from Hobby Lobby for like less than $10. It was so cute. She painted it. She mounted her piece on top of it and just kind of like walked you through her whole process. And if y'all get a chance to watch her, I highly recommend checking out her channel. That's Shady Grove Stitcher on YouTube and Instagram. Alright, so since my last video, I did have a few finishes to share. The first one I have here is my Stacy Nash gingerbread house. This was a Jingle Ball exclusive, and mine is stitched on 36 count maple bar by Cedar River Linens. And I did not stitch the back, I just stitched the front. I don't know if I'm actually going to use this. It's supposed to be a needle book. But I'm probably just going to set mine out at the holidays, and it'll just kind of be a pretty thing to look at. I don't know that I would ever really use it. I'm not really, I don't know, I've never really used a needle book. So I'll share the inside. I followed Stacy's tutorial that she did at the Jingle Ball, and I put a cinnamon stick in it. I don't know, I found it in a drawer and it smelled good, and it looks kind of like a chimney, so I stuck that in the wool pocket. And I have a covered button that did not go well at all. I don't know what happened, but my buttonhole stitch, I don't know how to do it, I guess, and I thought I had it down, and it was a disaster. I even practiced on some of the scrap fabric. It's fine. So on the left side here, I have like an embroidery hoop that I put some coordinating fabric in it, and then I just glued like lace around the edges, tied some ribbon, added a little jingle bell, and on the back I just used some coordinating fabric. And that is my gingerbread house from Stacy Nash, and it's pretty cute. I used all the called for threads except the white. I don't think I had the one that was called for, so I believe I used Parchment by Weeks Dye Works, but everything else is the same. So there's Gingerbread House. The other finish I actually finished stitching this on New Year's Eve, so if y'all watched my first video where I said I had 101 finishes, I can officially say it's 102. I've had this one kitted for so long, I pulled it out and I stitched it up in about 2 evenings. So it's stitched on 36 count Winter Brew. This is called Rudolph and Friends by With Thy Needle and Thread. And it's really cute. I think I'm just gonna put it in like a dough bowl next year. I didn't really make an ornament out of it. It's just like a little pillow that I stuffed with sawdust. And I happen to have the button that was on the cover of the pattern. So I was able to recreate it pretty closely. Didn't have any rickrack, but I did have some, I think it's vanilla chenille trim from Lady Dot Creates. So I had that. After my last video, I decided I was going to start Love Notes by Brenda Gervais, With Thy Needle and Thread. And I've had this kitted up for at least a year. It uses all DMC, so it's one of those patterns that's really economical and inexpensive to do. And it makes all 5 little pillows pictured. And I don't really have a whole lot of Valentine's Day decor. I don't really like Valentine's Day. It's not my favorite holiday, so I don't typically decorate for it. But I like Brenda Gervais' patterns, and everything she does is so cute. So I went ahead and I did make all the pillows, and I was able to complete my display. So I'm going to take these out individually and share them one by one, but this is what I made for the display. They're like little felt pillows from Michael's, and then I found this, I guess they're like sticks or twigs from Hobby Lobby. I have this, it's like a heart from Hobby Lobby, and then shredded paper from Michael's. And I got the key charms that are pictured on the pattern cover. I got those at Hobby Lobby as well. And the ribbon, I think, also came from Hobby Lobby. So I just have them in like a dough bowl that I'll probably put on our coffee table. So I will go over each one individually. All right, so here is a close-up of each pillow from the pattern. I stitched these on Ligonier Latte by R&R, 36 count. This one is Love Stamp. And last summer I pieced a quilt for Doug Lico. I think it's the carrot cake quilt that he just shared his pattern for, but he let me keep the fabric from the scrap fabric from it. So I tucked it away, and it turned out it was perfect for these pillows to finish them with. This is the Love Blooms collection from Lalo Boutique that came out earlier this month. So if you like it, you can buy it now. And the ribbon is a Lori Holt ribbon. It had like a bird and a flower on it, and I just cut out the parts that had the heart, and I used that to glue or just cover up the hole where I turned it right side out. So that's a Love Stamp. This one, I think this one is called Key to My Heart, and it's the tiniest one, and my bow is flopping around. So the key came from Hobby Lobby. Just like it was kind of like near the paper crafting stuff. I have more of the Love Blooms fabric on the back. This one was such a booger. I had so much trouble with the back stitching. I think it was because the way it's charted, like you're counting like 1.5 stitches up and 2.5 stitches over, and it gets, I don't know, I was going cross-eyed, and eventually I just started winging it, and after that it was a lot easier than sitting there trying to figure out where exactly I need to put my needle. But it turned out cute, and it's my favorite one. I redid the back stitching on the cup. I think the pattern tells you to use 2 strands, and oh, man, mine just did not look good. So I took it all out and did 1 strand, and I think it's okay. You know, it's fine. And then more of the Love Blooms fabric for the back. And then we have, this is Lovebirds. They're cute. The back stitching on this one was better. But yeah, if you make this pattern, I would start with the 2 pieces that have the back stitching. Get them over with. Because I kind of struggled. So this one's Lovebirds. And the rickrack I used was like a leftover piece of Lori Holt's vintage trim. And then the last one is, I can't remember, Hugs and Kisses? No. See, on the back of the pattern, they're not terribly descriptive. Like, some of them you can figure out what one it's referring to, but I can't remember. So anyway, there's the last pillow. So that is Love Notes by With Thy Needle and Thread, stitched on 36 count Ligonier Latte. This project I stitched, I guess, over a year ago now. This is called Starbarks by Plum Street Samplers. And I stitched it on 36 count Oatmeal by Fiber on a Whim. And the finishing piece, the wood piece, is from Hobby Lobby. But I hung it next to our coffee bar in our kitchen. And I think the 2 ribbons up here are from Michael's. And then this piece, it's like a little frappuccino. I got it from a shop on Etsy, and they are no longer in business. I tried to go and look at my order history, and it doesn't even open the shop anymore. So I don't know why she's not making them anymore, but it was so freaking cute. I ended up ordering 2 because she actually was selling them as like an air clip vent for your air conditioner in your car. Like, you can clip them. It came with a little clip, and it was like a magnet thing that I threw out, and then I do have the other one in the car. But it's just something cute, and I think it dresses it up. And it was just irresistible. So that is Starbarks by Plum Street Samplers. So my next previous finish, this hangs on the door to my sewing room, and I kind of thought it was perfect because you kind of know what you're in for when you're coming into this room. A crazy person works in here. But no, seriously, it was a pattern by Lucy Beam called Disturbed Women. And I stitched it on 36 count Hanami, I think, by Under the Sea Fabrics, using the called for threads. The frame is from Hobby Lobby. I had it custom made, and I laced it myself. And inside the pattern for the cross stitch pattern, she actually includes like a list of reasons why women were committed to mental institutions. And it's really interesting if you get a chance to find the pattern and look at it, because some of the reasons they locked women up were ridiculous. So I photocopied that paper or that page in the pattern, and I stuck it in the back of the frame. So one day if someone ends up owning this piece and they open the back, they'll find more to the story or why I made this. But it's kind of fun. So that's Disturbed Women by Lucy Beam. So this is Woolemina by Plum Street Samplers. and she is a round finish, so I was able to track down the same frame from the pattern cover and order the same frame and everything and finish it just like the cover. It is from Signed and Numbered, which I'll link to below in the description box. But when I mount, I think it came with glass and I just removed the glass and probably threw it out. But I put the piece in there and then I kind of put some polyfill behind it to make it poof out a little bit more, give it more like dimension. But that's Woolemina by Plum Street Samplers. Alright, this next piece is This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers, and I made it, I think about 2 years ago. It is on 32 count Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit, stitched over to 2/2, and I really was drawn to the pink house and all the pink bricks. I really wanted to stitch that, and had the frame custom made at Hobby Lobby, and I think I pinned it. I didn't lace. It's not very straight in there, but I think I pinned it. And so this just hangs up in my sewing room. I like the colors in it. So that's This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers. This is Keeper of the Pins by With Thy Needle and Thread, and this is kind of like my little shaker box display, and I'll take all these out individually and show them separate, but this is where they stay. So this is Keeper of the Pins by With Thy Needle and Thread, stitched on 28 count Vintage Country Mocha. I didn't stuff them very well, I guess, because they're kind of getting slouchy. I used some Lori Holt fabric for the back. I wanted something that looked kind of tomato-y, like a tomato red. And the pins are from Just Another Button Company. And I put rickrack around the edges. I didn't sew that on. I glued it because, I don't know, I'm not patient enough to stitch trim down around my pillows. It probably would have looked better, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the rickrack around the edge like this anyway, so I kind of think I like it sewn in by machine, and then when you turn it right side out, it's poking out, you know, the other direction. This pillow, I don't think anyone would ever be able to tell, but it's like lopsided. It's a really cute project. And these buttons came from my friend Jody. She had a bunch of buttons, and I wanted all my buttons to look different, so she let me pick through her supply and pick out ones that would fit on this pillow. I can't remember if the pattern, if you do French knots, or because I kind of have an aversion to French knots, so it's possible I just added seed beads to avoid French knots, but I'm not sure if that's, I'm not sure if the pattern has you do French knots, but I did beads. And here's Sewing Bird. Very cute. And the tray that I have all these sitting in, I actually got it at Quilt Market a few years ago, and I was walking around and I found a booth, and this guy was selling like handmade shaker trays and shaker boxes, and I just have always loved these and never really been able to find them, and so I was very quick to jump on board and buy a couple of items from him. But his website is working. I checked it earlier, and he does have products available on there, so if you're interested in getting some, they're not cheap, so just keep that in mind, but his work is beautiful. I don't know if y'all can see. And then inside, I just have a couple of little tomato pin cushions. And my friend Jody made this one. So cute with the little strawberry. But they just sit in there and look cute. So since my birthday was on Monday, I did do a birthday start. I don't normally do starts to celebrate like the new year or holidays. I don't really mark. I don't know why. I guess I would have so many new starts and not enough finishes. But I thought this year for my birthday, I am going to actually celebrate by starting something new. So I decided on at home. Sorry, I got the fan on. I saw this stitched in a shop in Spring, Texas, and it was so pretty. I really don't think the pattern cover does it enough justice. Once you see it in person, it's really, really pretty. So while I was there, I ended up buying the same linen that they used and all the threads. And it's just kind of sat waiting for me to start. So I thought for my birthday, I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to start it. So that's what I did. All right, I didn't get a whole lot done on it, but I can show you what I did complete. I started, I'm a top left starter, so I kind of started at the top and worked my way to the right. Which is up here, the top border. So I'm using 36 count linen by Weeks Dye Works, and that's the name of the linen, like that's the color name. It's linen. Like, yes, it's linen, but it's also called linen. So I don't know why they had to use such a confusing name, but 36 count linen by Weeks Dye Works, and I have all the called for threads. So I'm looking forward to working on this one more. The colors are kind of like a muted, springy theme, and I'm really kind of liking the more muted. It's like a muted, colorful selection of threads, which is a little bit different, I think. It's just kind of calming to see the colors. So in addition to that, I also worked on a couple of my WIPGO projects this month. My goal is to put 6 to 8 hours of stitching in on these projects. And I don't like that glare. So I started on Anne Grimshaw. I'm using 36 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. And I think I'm using Antique Black by Gloriana, and I think I just picked that color because that's what Carol at the Saltbox Stitcher used, and I was like, I want to be just like Carol, so I just used the same black that she chose. I worked on this, let me think. I can consult my book of days. I worked on this for 90 minutes Tuesday night. So this is what 90 minutes of stitching looks like, and as you can see, this pattern is huge. So I have made the tiniest of dents, you know, so we'll see. But 90 minutes. My goal is to stitch 6 to 8 hours on each of these projects, so I've got a little bit more to do this month, but that's where it is at this point. And then my other WIPGO project is Elizabeth Furniss, which when I showed this last time, I had only done, I think I had only done like up here, this flower and some of the vine. So I worked my way down a little bit, did a few more flowers, stitched this funky looking angel guy thing, the fruit basket, and then part of the rose, which is up here. And I'm thinking instead of the over one verse at the top, I think I'm gonna put, I think when I was watching Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, Olivia put the names of her grandparents on both sides of her family, and maybe she put like their wedding date. I thought that would hold more meaning for me, so I'm gonna do that. And then in the center, put my name, and probably not aged 37 years because that's not as impressive as aged 13 years, but I'll probably just put my name maybe in like the year I stitched it or the year I finished it. But it's fun. I was a little intimidated when I first started just because it's such a big project. But as soon as, I mean, I started getting into it and getting going on it, and I completed a couple of motifs. So I felt like at that point, like I thought maybe I can do this. It's not so overwhelming that I can't tackle it one little motif at a time. So I'm excited to see how this flower takes shape because there's so many color changes in it. I think it's going to be really pretty. So this project I actually did stitch. I think I made 6 hours on this one. I've been highlighting in blue when I work on Elizabeth Furniss, and then Anne Grimshaw's in purple. So I would like to keep working on Elizabeth Furniss, but I think I'm going to need to switch gears and work more on Anne Grimshaw before I go back to Elizabeth. So that is pretty much what I've been working on this week. I did have a lot of haul. I had a very Merry Christmas and a very happy birthday, which y'all are about to see. Winnie is trying to like paw her way back in here. You can do it. You just gotta push the door. Okay, so I kind of segued a little bit last year into punch needle, and everything Lori Holt does is so freaking cute. It was like one of those hobbies. I was like, I don't need another hobby, but at the same time, like, look at how cute. Sorry if the glare is being difficult, but I pre-ordered this from Happy Little Stitch Shop, and they send you all of her chunky yarn and all the colors that you need. They send the weaver's cloth that Lori developed and the pattern. And last September, I did a couple of punch needle projects for the first time, and it wasn't too bad. It really hurts my wrist, so I have to be careful how often and how long I punch needle for, because it's painful on your joints and your wrists. So I've been experimenting with, oh, she needs help getting into the... So last September, I did try punch needle out for the first time, and I decided I really liked it. It was not something I was actively trying to learn. I just decided, like, let's do something different. I'm going to try punch needle and see how I like it. And I did make one of Lori's autumn projects that I made into a pillow. And I think it turned out really cute. So I'm kind of exploring punch needle here and there. I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to do, but I really like Lori Holt's pattern, so I am going to stitch on her winter and spring when that one comes out. But I followed Lori's tutorial on finishing and kind of did what she did with the Mod Podge on the back of it and everything. And then I just quilted a pillow, some fabric from her autumn line, and I quilted it, and I just glued the punch needle piece right on the front of it, you know, and it's still there, so I guess it's working. But, you know, so punch needle's fun. You just kind of have to make sure you're not overworking your wrists, because that gets really, really painful. And it's frustrating because if you're like me, like, I want to start and finish things, and when your hand hurts, like I was trying to learn how to do punch needle with both hands, like ambidextrous. It was frustrating, but I did finish, you know, a couple of projects from her autumn punch needle. So I thought, since I know I can do it, I really wanted to make the snowman. I thought the snowman was so cute, and he'd be the same size as this one. So they're just fun and different. So I got that. I decided I wanted to make new Christmas stockings for next year, and I've been eyeing this line for a long time, and it's getting to the point now where it's getting harder to find because it's almost out of print, and if, you know, usually when stuff sells out, they don't reprint it. So I did decide to go ahead and get the supplies to make their like twister stockings. If you've seen the twister pinwheel, I made a couple of stockings back in 2015. So it's been 10 years. We've been using the same stockings for 10 years. And I thought, well, maybe it's time to make new ones. And I like the pattern, so I thought I would get a couple of charm packs. And I got the fabric to do the cuff and the backing and then the lining fabric. So there's that. And then while I was at it, I was on Shabby Fabrics' website, and I found these cute mini charm bags using the same fabric. Since I don't think I'm going to get to make a quilt with it, I can make a little bag and still have all the fabric to look at, just in a smaller amount. And the kit came with everything to make the bag. So you get the charms, you get the zippers. I think you even get the like the batting that's inside the bag. So I think they might still have some of these in stock if you're interested. So at some point I'm going to make one of those. And then Fat Quarter Shop was doing, I think it was their like countdown to Christmas sale. And one day they put like sharp objects up for grabs. And I went ahead and got a couple of these scissors. I really like these. They come with like a sheath. So if you throw it in your bag with your cross stitch, it won't, if you put the sheath on, it won't accidentally poke your fabric. And they're just good, like inexpensive. I think they're like $7.98. Good inexpensive scissors to have on hand, since I'm usually losing mine. So I got that. And then of course, Lori's new stitch card set for Christmas. I had to get that. Stitch that later this year maybe. And then I saw this pattern from Crochet A Go-Go, and I just thought it was so cute. Not that I need more Christmas stitching, but gosh, the snowman. It's so cute. So I grabbed that. There's a lot of fabric here. This is for the new flower basket sew-along quilt that Lori is doing. So I got the full kit for that and the Sew Simple shapes for it as well. So I've been really excited for this sew-along to start. I think it starts later this month. I don't know if I'll be on time with it, but I really like, you know, her applique quilts, and I can never turn down a new Lori project. So I had to get that. And I think that's everything. Coco's here. Hi. Do you want to come up here and say hi? Do you want to come up here and say hi? Come here. Ugh. Here's the queen. Man, you smell. Ugh. These dogs need baths. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes. So anyway, I think that's all I have today. I feel like this video was really short, and I had all these notes and I just flew through them. So plans going forward, I think I'm gonna work more on Anne Grimshaw, and I am really interested in starting some new Hands Across the Sea samplers, like in the monochromatic. small monochromatic ones. I think they'd look really neat on the wall, like if I did all red maybe, or all black. So I have a few of those picked out that I want to make or start working on. And then I have a couple of projects that I have fabric ordered for that I want to start. So if you've seen Ann Webb, I'll have Jake insert a picture because I left it in the other room, but Ann Webb by Hands Across the Sea, I have all the thread for it and the pattern. I just needed a larger cut of fabric for it. So that's supposed to be here either today or tomorrow. And I can finally start on that one because I've had the pieces for that since like last March. So that I am planning to start. And then there is another Hands Across the Sea pattern that I have that it uses mostly black, but there are actually 3 colors in it. It's called Ann Campion. And I think that one's really neat too. So I'll have Jake insert pictures of these charts since I don't have them in the room with me. But other than that, I'll just be stitching and working on customer quilts and working. Have you had a long day? Hard day at work. Yeah, you're so pretty. But anyway, we'll be staying warm here. We have a cold front coming Sunday night, I think, that will send the temperatures into the 20s. So winter part 2 of Texas. And I can see Jake walking around outside. I bet he's trying to... We have so much mud. And every time Whiskey goes out, he runs through it. And then we have to wipe his feet. And when he sees you pick up the towel, he runs away. Sometimes he just runs directly back out into the mud. And the other day, I was trying to wipe his feet off, and he snatched the towel out of my hand and ran back into the yard with it. So I think Jake is out there chasing him around, trying to clean his feet off. But we do have landscaping planned. We talked to a landscaper earlier this week, and we are going to get them some sod installed because there's just a lot of dirt and weeds out there from when they were building this house, and they really need something better than a turf grass area rug. So yes, it's coming. But anyway, she's going to sleep now. Thank you for joining me today, and I am looking forward to engaging with y'all in the comments. And oh good, he's back. Did you get dirty? Anyway, thank y'all. I hope y'all have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, Flosstube. Oh, God, that was terrible. I mean, I don't know. What the fuck do I say about whiskey? Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, Jake. I don't even know what I just said. God, my face itch. Mother. This fucking table sucks. So I had some previous finishes from not previous finishes.